For more on the upcoming Africa Under-18 and Under-20 Championships, we're now joined live by sports journalist Allan Darren Kyeyune, live from Kampala, Uganda. Darren, thank you for joining us. We've heard about South Africa, we've heard about Kenya. Who do you think is likely to challenge their dominance in Ndola?
Well, basing on history and the fact of numbers, I would front a country like Nigeria to be strong contenders in the Copper Belt when the championship gets underway. If you look at the previous edition, which was held 4 years ago in the capital city of Ivory Coast in Abidjan, Nigeria finished just 12 medals behind Kenya. So you'd feel with the fact that they've managed to put a camp of about 55 athletes together in the city of Asaba, you hope and feel they should be able to push for something. There are many other countries that may contend into the medal quest for all the other nations that you've talked about, that is Kenya and South Africa. But in my view, I feel the game of numbers will play a big part. There are other countries, including Uganda and Egypt, that may have a stake, both in terms of long distance and field events respectively. But if it goes down to the number of entries that will be put in, probably the batch of 55 athletes from Nigeria should be able to chase those medals alongside Kenya and South Africa.
Right, and Darren, this is, of course, a very interesting stage for future athletes. We have seen a number of world beaters first taste glory at the junior and youth championships in the past. What can we expect this time around in Zambia?
Well, this being a stage for the next stars for the continent, and the fact that there's been a bit of hunger because the Confederation of African Athletics has struggled to stage championships, largely because of the different restrictions across many countries due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And now 4 years since 2019, this being the first for the teenagers. And of course, even with that spell in there, Kenya managed to host the Under-20 World Championships back in 2021 at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. This time I feel, first of all, you'd expect to see some of the countries that I've mentioned, like Nigeria. Part of their camp has had a sensational runner in Ronke Ashabi, that's in the 3,000 meters and does hold the national record, as well as Tima Godbless in the 200 meters does hold the under-20 national record. Those are some of the names that I feel Nigeria may present, but of course you expect some other surprises to do with the sprints from Nigeria. If I do move down to my very own Uganda, I think two young athletes should stand a big chance. First of all, Dan Kibet, who came fourth and just missed a medal by a place at the World Cross Country Championships, and that was in the junior men's 8-kilometer event. The other Ugandan who finished sixth, Kenneth Kiprop, together with Dan Kibet, they do share the same coach, just like Joshua Cheptegei. So from that well of wisdom, you feel Uganda should be able to contend for a medal in the men's 5,000 meter final. And then when I move to other countries like Botswana, I feel we've been treated to Leslie Tebogo, the current world under-20 100 meter record holder, who has managed to win both 100 meter gold medals at the Cali under-20 championships last year and the Nairobi event back in 2020-21. I feel the fact that he's now left the stage for other youngsters to come in, we should probably have an Isaac Makwala come in there, or a Manto Monsho, or an individual of sorts. And I feel Colin Busang in the 400 meters, he was actually part of the team that won the 4x400 meter gold medal at the World Under-20 stage back in Nairobi in 2021. I feel those are some of the names could go on to surprise, including Kenya itself. I haven't forgotten the brother to Ferdinand Omanyala, Isaac Omura, who just recently won the 100 meter East Africa Championship gold medal. So those are some of the names, together with Bridget Kosgei's sister, that is Pamela Kosgei, who is going to be competing in the 3,000 meter steeplechase event. Finally, briefly, Darren, we're almost out of time here. Is Africa, of course, through the Confederation of African Athletics, doing enough to expose the talent of young track and field athletes here on the continent? I think in terms of what they've been able to do, you could take a yes, but in the broader perspective, I feel like they haven't done enough, largely because of, one, the challenges. First of all, to finance teenage athletics on the continent is very difficult because of the way the education systems are structured across Africa. It's very difficult to have both education and sport move concurrently across several different lives of athletes, and sometimes it's even based on what the parents think. A lot has been fronted before sport, so you find education comes before sport, and that clearly leaves a huge challenge for the Confederation of Africa Athletics. Number two, that I feel perhaps has trimmed the challenges for CAA has been the factor to do with infrastructure. If you notice, some of the countries that I've mentioned are going to be having strong presence on track, but unfortunately, when it gets to the field events like javelin, shot put, discus, hammer throw, triple jump and long jump, you find several countries do not have a representation. Uganda has named a team of 10 competitors, but there is none that will be going for a field event. Yet 4 years ago, Uganda actually won a gold medal in javelin in Josephine Lalam. The challenges that CAA faces at youth level are the same challenges that pop up at senior level. You find several athletes that do break through after winning some of these medals, including Lalam, who face challenges to compete favorably at the global stage. It sometimes pushes several top talent to leave the continent and either base in Europe or in the Americas to be able to compete favorably because of the conditions.
All right, Darren, thank you very much for joining us on the program tonight. Darren Allan Kyeyune, our sports journalist, joining us live there from Uganda.